EXO-1 is a physics-based exploration game set in sci-fi worlds, telling the journey of a rogue ship that is trying to change the past. Or at least I think that's what's going on. The actual plotline is pretty hidden through confusing flashbacks and borderline dream sequences or flashes as you progress through the levels. I will do my best to kind of cover the storyline, but frankly it seems really simple, I think. There was a mission to Jupiter that went wrong, causing the deaths of all the astronauts on the mission but one. Or maybe the man was left behind from the mission in the first place. It's not really easy to tell. But everybody dies on the mission, only for a mysterious plan for an alien spacecraft that uses gravity as its main propulsion systems to show up out of nowhere. At first, the spacecraft does not work, but it was destined to be used by only this one person who was somehow tied to the Jupiter mission but didn't actually die. He's then able to sneak in, steal the ship, or maybe the ship's plans, and then go on an adventure that the entire game encompasses. The goal is to save the Jupiter mission team, and in order to do that, you need to basically create like a black hole or a Big Bang or singularity or some other crazy sci-fi cliche that causes time travel or an alternate dimension or a separate timeline or something like that. The story is really about sacrifice, as the man inside the little marble that you fly around in chooses to save other people rather than live his own life on Earth. I'm not sure why he does this other than some form of guilt for his role in the Jupiter mission, like he's saying, "It should have been me," and crying out in the rain or something like that. But in the end, you're able to save the crew by using the wormhole time paradox thing, and it all turns out fine. Except I think you and your little marble die, I think. It's hard to tell. The storyline really doesn't matter in this game, even though I just spent the whole first part of this review talking about it. It's totally unnecessary to pay attention or to understand or appreciate the game as a whole. The real fun in the game is the aesthetics and the gameplay itself. The gameplay involves you using several different power-ups and abilities in order to progress through the levels as quickly as possible. In each level, you're trying to get to a big blue cannon-looking thing in the distance that will shoot you on to the next level. You can use your gravity abilities to gain speed, to fly through the air, and to break the sound barrier. You basically have like 3 abilities, but the combination of these abilities is what makes the game fun and makes your skill at the game greater. If you get good at combining these different skills, you can really get moving through the levels quickly, and it also just makes the game so much more satisfying. When you are able to perfectly hit the next jump using your gravity dive using glide into the water only to surface like a beautiful whale, skip across the water like a stone, or use the power-up cannon thingies, it can be really fun to see how high or how quickly you can get moving. When you do hit a really good jump, you can even break through the oppressive cloud barriers that exist on many of the levels, bursting you into the sunlight and clear blue sky above. In the many chaotic dark levels that you are traveling through, these are brief moments of respite in the sunshine as you glide slowly back down into the chaos. Those moments are truly great, and it almost makes playing the entire game worth it. I did beat the game in about 1 hour and 38 minutes according to the internal clock of the game. I know the exact time because the game is sort of built around it, with your best time being displayed on the menu screen when you start the game. It sort of seems like a game built for speedrunning with clear strategies to get you moving at extremely fast speeds, if you can hit exact points with good timing. The fact that a timer is built in the game is clear evidence of this fact as well. I'm definitely not a speedrunner, so the fact that I beat it so quickly should show you the scale of the game as a whole. It's pretty small. You can easily beat it in one sitting without being a pro gamer. I don't think that inherently means that the game is bad, but there just isn't a whole lot in this game in the long run. You get all of your abilities early on, and then you pretty much do the same thing on every level for the entire game, with a few standout moments where there are some new rules or some of the rules of the game change. For instance, on one level, there is no ground, and you get electrocuted to gain more power. There's another where you lose the ability to steer, and you just have to use gravity to maneuver yourself around. Another where you control a large, slow-moving ball that you need to guide to its new home. Another is a fire world, another is a snow world, and so on and so forth. One takes place in space, where you're on some asteroids that you need to jump across to. Frankly, almost all of those are pretty minor changes because you end up doing basically the same thing from the first level onwards for the entire game. It's not a huge problem because the game is so short, but even when I beat it in only 90 minutes, I was starting to get tired of the shtick. Because honestly, this game is just like sci-fi Marble Blast for the most part. You can get moving at higher speeds compared to one of those other Marble games, but it's still not all that different in the broad scheme of things. And now, honestly, I feel like I've run out of things to say about this game other than a few side notes. The music is very nice, very ethereal and spacey. I think that the composer of the game found a way to perfectly match the visuals, and that's really nice. I think that music in these smaller indie games are often overlooked, especially when you keep in mind that with some of these small development teams, the composer could also be doing other aspects of the game as well. I have no idea if that's the actual case with XO1, but with any small team project, I think it's important to point out that these people are doing a lot of work on these games. Also, the visualizations of travel that occur between the levels are also really interesting. They each are unique and provide a glitchy, light speed type effect, but I just thought they looked really cool. It's only a small part of the game, but the way the game glitches to a picture of the astronaut team occasionally as well can also be kind of powerful. These moments are just nice effects for the vibes of the game rather than anything weighty, but I think they're nice. However, the epilepsy warning in this game at the beginning is no joke. There are some serious flashing images throughout the game, so heads up. Anyway, I think you should play Marble Space Ultra Blast. It's a quick, fun game that lets you escape to crazy, desolate, or lush worlds. It lets you experiment with gravity and motion and inertia, and the visuals were fun overall. While this game is nothing to really write home about, it was worth the time that I put into it. Anyway, check it out, especially if you have Game Pass because it's included in that. Bye.